everybody, this is Dan Miller for Bluegrass Unlimited magazine, and this is a continuing series on playing fiddle tunes on the Dobro. Not so easy to do sometimes, and I'm just going to put out some other little tips and tricks that you can think about when you're trying to figure out a good way to get some speed on the Dobro playing a fiddle tune that has a dense melody. Okay, the next song we're going to look at is Blackberry Blossom. We did Red-Haired Boy over the last few lessons, and this time we're going to look at Blackberry Blossom. Blackberry Blossom is one of these typical fiddle tunes that the A part, we'll look at just the A part today. The A part is made up of a combination of what we call folded scale patterns and then a sort of arpeggio run and then a scalier, like a linear scale. Okay, and this is typical of fiddle tunes. You'll find that folded scale patterns, straight scale, which is ascending or descending patterns, and then maybe some arpeggio patterns or pentatonic scale patterns just kind of make up all fiddle tunes. I've done some videos on folded scales, so we won't go into big depth about that. You can look on Bluegrass Unlimited YouTube page and try to find the folded scale lessons, or just search on YouTube Bluegrass Unlimited folded scales and you should come up with something. But Blackberry Blossom is like, you know, sort of the standard song that I would point to if I wanted to give somebody an idea of what a folded scale is. And a folded scale is just like a repeated pattern of a scale that typically will fold back on itself. That's why they're called folded scales. Now in Blackberry Blossom we've got something, it starts on a G, so it goes G, B, A, G, so it's going up and then coming back to G. So it's going G, skipping over the A, playing the B, but going back through the A to get back to G. And so that pattern repeats itself two more times, but going down the next note of the scale. So if we descend the G scale and we go to F sharp, then the next pattern is, you can hear that pattern's the same. I just started on a different note. And then the next pattern goes down the scale again to E and repeats that same pattern. So in the beginning of Blackberry Blossom, you've got 3 repeated folded scale patterns. Okay, now playing that on the Dobro is a little bit difficult because you got a lot of bar movement if you work that in this position here. Now for the first pattern, I could go to my open B note instead of the B note at the 4th fret of the G string. I could go. That's not bad, because that I got 2 open notes, actually 3 open notes. G's open, B's open, and the last G's open, so only having to bar that 1 A note. That's doable at a high speed. But then you go to this one where you have to go F to A. You got to open G back to F. That's a tough move going really fast. And then the next move is the E. Again, you've got a move going there. You can slide that to get it a little faster. But that's a lot of bar movement between the 2nd and the 4th fret. What we may want to look at doing is going to a different position on the neck where we can find those same notes and not have to move the bar around so much. And the economy of motion there will help us go faster. Now, we talked about in the first video of this series how to do the G scale, and we only did it up here in the area of the first 4 frets. Okay, there's obviously way more places that you could play that scale, and one of the things that the banjo players who play melodic style banjo will do is go up the neck and alternate open ringing notes with fretted notes up the neck and get sort of this cascading ringing sound. The guitar players do it too. They call it floaty licks or floating licks. And if we did it on the Dobro here, we could go, like if we started with our open G, we could play the A note here at the 7th fret, and then the B note open B, and then the C note at the 5th fret, and then the open D, and then the E note at the 5th fret, and then the F sharp we'd either have to go to the 1st string, or we could go up there to the on the 2nd string, and then go back to the G at the 5th string. That's the only move that doesn't have that open string in between. So again, it's, and I could slide into the F sharp and go to G, or I could hop over this F sharp here and slide up to G. Whatever's quickest and fastest for you. That's just kind of how you can do what we may call a floating or more melodic style, if you're going to use banjo terminology. You could do that up here. So thinking about that first part of Blackberry Blossom, if I set my bar at the 7th fret and put it across the first 3 strings, I could play those first 2 little folded scale phrases of Blackberry Blossom without ever having to move my hand from this position. Because that first little phrase I could get here going G, B, A, G, G, B, A, G. So the B and the G strings are open, and then I'm playing my A on the 4th string at the 7th fret. And then for the next phrase, I got my F sharp note covered here, and then I could just do a forward roll. So I go, and that's a lot quicker. I never have to move my bar. A lot quicker than moving all this around here and trying to find those notes and hit them in tune and get them clean and all that stuff. I don't have to move my bar. So that's one thing to think about. A lot more economy of motion there. And then for the next part, going to E, what I'd usually do is I'd do my... So I'm going to go to my E note there, play open G, and then go to my F sharp, slide into my E. And then play open D, and then do, this is an arpeggio with an A note in there, walking down, and then playing A open G. It's kind of like a small pentatonic lick, throwing that A in there, but it's basically walking down a G arpeggio and throwing that extra A in there. Now for the next part, what I would do to finish out the A part the first time through is I would just walk up a G scale right there. Okay, you may know the melody differently, that's fine, but to me that's quick and fast and easy. I might even go and then play that one open D as a quarter note instead of playing the E. Like that. And then the second time through the second time through the A part is just very similar. You do the same first bars up here, and then that last part. So it's just a slightly different ending on that. But if you think about playing it that way, to me it's a lot easier, because you don't have so much motion in that first part of the A section, and you could just lay your bar there and kind of roll and move your bar a little bit, and then it's not so bad. And you do the hammers to get your scale run like that. You can get that down pretty quick. And so that's another way to think about playing Blackberry Blossom or any tune. If you're trying to figure out a fiddle tune and you're doing all this motion, especially if you're going from an A to an F sharp or F sharp to an A, that's a lot of motion. Or even if you're going from F sharp back to E, you've got, even though you can slide there, it's a lot of moving around. Okay, so try to go up the neck a little bit and puzzle out if you can do the same kind of lick with less motion, moving up the neck and doing it sort of what the banjo players might call a melodic style instead of an arpeggiated rolling style. Okay? Now, a second way you might be able to make Blackberry Blossom easier is, I've seen some guitar players do this with cross-picking and things like that, is we're going to change the melody a little bit. And this is another thing you could do. It doesn't sound exactly like the melody of the song, but it's close enough that it'll sound like the song and you can play it a lot faster. And that sometimes you're going to have to do something like this. And so what I'm going to do is just roll across the chords, all right? Always, that's your default. We always like to say, if you can't figure out what to play, the answer's always in the chord. And although it might not be the absolute correct answer, it'll sound okay, right? Because that's the most consonant sound of notes you can play, is notes that are in the chord that you're playing over, okay? So I can just move my bar along with the chords. Now the chords here to Blackberry Blossom starts in G and changes every half measure. We're going G, D, C, G, C, G, A, D, G, D, C, G, C, D, G, D. Okay? So we can just roll across this. So just get a little roll going. I just played the chords, okay? And if it goes by really fast and you just play those chords, I'm just doing a little roll here. I'm going sort of like a forward and then coming backward. Okay? So I don't have to mess with all that other stuff, right? It doesn't sound exactly like the tune is supposed to sound, you know, playing exact melody. But again, it's like if the speed is going so fast, because if you're a dobro player and got good rolls, good fast rolls, and you know your fretboard and you can move your bar pretty quick between chords, you can get by with a solo to Blackberry Blossom just rolling over the chords, and it'll be good enough, you know. Especially at a fast pace, people are going to think, man, that's great, you know, it's going to be pretty good, and you can get by. And then again, that's what we're all about. When the speed gets fast, it's about, sometimes it's just got to be about fake it till you make it. And on the dobro, our strength is our rolls and our chord positions and of course our slides. But you know, not a lot of slides there, just moving between the chords and you can get it done. So that's another way to look at playing Blackberry Blossom, the A part. Next time we'll take a look at the B part of Blackberry Blossom. For now, this is Dan Miller from Bluegrass Unlimited magazine saying good luck playing Blackberry Blossom on the dobro. See you next time.